Najla from Chennai and welcome to my channel Unfair and Lovely. This is my first ever video, and the reason why I wanted to put myself out there on YouTube is because it's very difficult to find affordable makeup which caters to dark skin tones, and I wanted you guys to be a part of my journey where I finally managed to figure things out. Now if you guys want to know how I got this full beat face, please keep watching. Since my face is dry like the desert, I make sure that I start off my makeup with a well moisturized face. I'm going to prime my skin so that the foundation applies smoothly and also to make sure that it lasts throughout the day. I'm going to smooth this out on my T-zone with my fingers. I'm mixing these two foundations to get the perfect shade match for my skin. With drugstore foundations with a limited shade variety, it can be quite tricky to get your perfect shade with just one product. I'm dotting the foundation on with my fingers all over my face and neck and blending it out using a beauty sponge. I'm using the beauty blender in this video and it has quickly become my holy grail makeup tool. Since it is used wet, it ensures that my foundation does not cling onto the dry patches on my face. A buffing brush would cause micro exfoliation which would take away from the airbrushed effect. Next, I'm going to apply concealer to all the areas I wish to highlight. I'm going to apply it under my eyes, the bridge of my nose, the cupid's bow, the forehead and the chin. Sometimes I like to apply a bit under my cheeks as well. I'm going to use the pointed end of my beauty blender and blend all that out real quick. Another tip while blending out under eye concealer is always start from the inner corner and move outwards. Also, run the sponge back and forth. This helps in preventing creasing, which is such a pet peeve of mine. I'm going to set all that concealer with baby powder. I know I'm low maintenance like that. I'm stamping on that powder quite generously on all my highlighted areas and let it sit for a while. This not only makes your base bulletproof, but also provides a shield to catch all that eyeshadow fallout. While that's baking, I'm quickly going to prime my eyes with the same concealer. I'm going to blend it all out using a dense, fluffy brush. Priming the eyelids really helps in intensifying a bold eyeshadow look such as this one. It also makes your eyeshadow last much longer on the eyes. For this makeup look, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Naked Chocolate palette and I'm going to pick up that matte cream shade to set my primed lids. It is important to set your eye primer with a light matte shadow so as to create a powdery canvas for all the eyeshadows to blend easily. I'm going to pick up this light brown shadow from the same palette which is closest to my skin tone. I'm using a fluffy blending brush to apply this into the crease of my eye. I'm using a very light hand while I apply the eyeshadow in order to ensure that I get an even wash of color. It is important to mimic the shape of your crease while applying transition shades on your eye. A perfect transition in the crease ties together any eyeshadow look incorporating bold and bright colors. I'm going to further deepen up that crease with this shade which is a tad bit darker than the previous one. I'm going to use the same technique as before to blend out this shade. Notice that I'm using windswiper motions along the length of my crease and circular motions on the outer corner of my eye. This will ensure a blown out effect. I'm taking this eyeshadow quad from REVLON and picking up this gunmetal shadow on my ring finger and I'm applying it all over my lid. This shade will serve as a base for the silver that's going to go on top. I had to really struggle to get the pigmentation to work in this quad, guys. I'm also using a flat shader brush to get a precise application all over the lid. Next, I'm picking up this warm brown shade on another blending brush and I'm blending out that grey into the crease. The warmth of this shadow will beautifully contrast the depth of the grey we used on the lid. With all that blending, the grey kinda lost its intensity, so I'm going back in with that flat shader brush and reapplying the grey shadow. Now I'm going to pop this silver shadow from the same quad on the center of my eyelids and blend it out using my finger. I'm going to take this black shadow on a dense shader brush and carefully place it on the outer V of my eye. It's important to make sure you don't go heavy-handed with black eyeshadow because it can easily get quite messy. Ensure that you don't take the black above the crease. Go with a light hand and build up the intensity. Now I'm going to pick up a clean blending brush and blend out that black shadow. While blending out dark eyeshadows, always make sure to use a clean blending brush, else it can get all muddy and look like someone punched you in the eye. Now I'm just going to repeat the same process of applying more black shadow and blending it with the same blending brush we used before with no additional product on. From the Sugar and Spice blush palette by Makeup Revolution, I'm going to pick up the silver shadow with pink reflects and pop it onto the center of the eyelid. The silver from the Revlon quad wasn't pigmented to my liking. I used a flat precise shader brush for this. I'm going to kick off all that bake that has been going on for a while now. I'm going to set the rest of my face with the excess powder on the brush. All that bake has definitely made my face quite powdery. But don't worry, we can fix that. There you go, MAC Fix Plus. I'm going to drench my face in it and voila! Your face is all dewy and glowy again. Next up is eyebrows. I'm going to comb out my brow hairs with a brow groomer. I don't like to do much with my brows, so I'm just going to set everything in place with an old mascara. I'm going to curl my lashes to prep them for mascara. This mascara has quickly become one of my favorites and I give my lashes 2 full coats of it. This mascara wand perfectly lengthens and separates my lashes. No clumps. For my lower lash line, I'm going to go back into the Naked Chocolate palette and pick up this deep brown eyeshadow on a pencil brush and buff it all out. Next, I'm tightlining my eyes with a black kohl. I'm using the Maybelline Colossal Kajal. I'm going to define my lower lash line a bit more by stamping on a black shadow with a precise angular brush. I'm going to blend that out with a shader brush as well. Next, I'm going to pick up this light shimmery shade from this palette and highlight my brow bone with it. I'm also going to use the same shade to highlight the inner corners of my eyes. Let's give those lower lashes a good coat of mascara. I'm going to use these falsies today. I've always found that a good pair of dramatic falsies can make or break a look. So there you go. Now that the eyes are done, we can finish up with the rest of the face. I'm going to pick up this bronzer from the Makeup Revolution Golden Sugar 2 blush palette on a bronzing brush and apply it to all the natural contours of my face. The bronzer adds warmth and dimension to the face. I make sure it is seamlessly blended out. Patchy bronzer is such a turn-off. Since I'm not contouring in this video, I'm just going to reverse contour with loose powder to sharpen up that bronzer application. I'm using talcum powder for this. This time, I'm not going to let that powder sit for too long. I'll quickly kick it off with a small face brush because you don't want a stark contrast. I'm going to add this neutral nude blush from the Makeup Revolution Sugar and Spice blush palette to my cheeks with a blush brush. This blush perfectly complements the bold eye makeup we have going on. Next up, I'm going to pick up this highlighter from the Golden Sugar 2 palette on a fan brush and hit the high points of my face with it. See how blinding that is? I make sure that I blend out that highlight with a small fluffy face brush. I'm not a fan of having a stark streak of highlight on my face. I'm spraying my face with more Fix Plus so that all those face powders can melt into one. I'm going to gently dab the whole of my face with the beauty blender to remove any excess product and also to give a flawless appearance to the skin. I'm going to be mixing these two liquid lipsticks to get the perfect nude to go with this eye look. I apply the darker lipstick to define my lips well and pop on the lighter shade to add a bit more dimension to my tiny lips. I'm blending the two with the help of my finger. Dab, 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 dab. And that's it for this look. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Now if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to follow me on all my social media handles, for which I'll leave the links down below. I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, remember, fair isn't the only love.